Before we dive into today's news, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates here on Toronto Maple Leafs News Now. Now let's talk about a situation that's been brewing in Leafs Nation. Nick Robertson's growing frustration with the team as his trade request continues to be ignored. Robertson had a breakout season with the Leafs, setting career highs in nearly every category. In 56 games last season, he scored 14 goals, added 13 assists, and finished with a solid 27 points. His overall play improved as well, with his plus-minus rating hitting +4, and his physicality on display with increases in hits, blocked shots, and takeaways. But despite all that progress, there was one thing missing: trust from head coach Sheldon Keefe. Robertson averaged just over 11 minutes of ice time per game, barely improving from his previous seasons. Nick Robertson's 2023-24 season marked a significant breakthrough for the young forward, as he posted career highs in nearly every category. Playing 56 games for the Toronto Maple Leafs, Robertson tallied 14 goals, 13 assists, and 27 points, showcasing a more physical game with an improved plus-minus rating of +4. Despite these achievements, he averaged just over 11 minutes of ice time per game, a slight increase from previous seasons, but not enough to reflect his full potential. This limited role under head coach Sheldon Keefe has been a key factor behind Robertson's growing frustration and trade request. According to reports, while he's eager to prove himself further, he feels that he hasn't been fully trusted or utilized effectively by the team. NHL insider Pierre Lebrun recently highlighted that Robertson remains at home, training and awaiting a resolution to his trade request, but the process has been slower than he and his camp expected. Fans are left wondering if the Leafs will grant his trade request or continue holding on to him, potentially limiting his opportunities further. Robertson has clearly shown he can contribute at the NHL level, but whether or not that happens in Toronto remains uncertain as the season approaches. This lack of opportunity seems to be the driving factor behind Robertson's trade request. According to reports, he's growing increasingly frustrated as his request goes unanswered. NHL insider Pierre Lebrun recently mentioned that Robertson is still training back home, waiting for a resolution that doesn't seem to be moving fast enough. While he'd prefer a fresh start elsewhere, the Leafs haven't made any moves, leaving Robertson in limbo. Some fans have speculated that another team might offer Robertson an offer sheet, but the challenge there is ensuring the Leafs wouldn't match it. At this point, it seems Robertson is eager to move on, and even if the Leafs could match an offer, they might just let him go to avoid further drama. Nick Robertson's trade request has been a hot topic surrounding the Toronto Maple Leafs this offseason. Despite a solid breakout year, where Robertson set career highs with 14 goals and 27 points in 56 games, his frustration with his role on the team has only grown. The forward is reportedly unhappy with his limited ice time, averaging just over 11 minutes per game, and feels he hasn't been given the opportunity to prove his full potential. According to NHL insider Pierre Lebrun, Robertson is still training at home and waiting for a resolution, but the process has been moving slower than his camp would like. The winger, represented by agent Pat Brisson, continues to push for a change of scenery, but so far, the Leafs haven't made any moves to accommodate his request. Some fans are speculating that Robertson could receive an offer sheet from another team, but the challenge lies in ensuring the Leafs wouldn't match it. With training camp approaching, the situation remains in limbo, leaving Robertson and Leafs fans wondering what comes next. Will Toronto grant his trade request? Or will he be forced to return for another season in a limited role? All eyes are on the Leafs to see how this plays out as the new season nears. The SDPN crew recently weighed in on the situation during one of their podcasts, shedding light on just how long this issue has been simmering. With the season quickly approaching, the big question remains: will Nick Robertson get his wish and be traded? Or will he have to tough it out in Toronto for another year? The Nick Robertson trade saga continues to brew as the Maple Leafs forward remains firm in his desire to move on from Toronto. Despite a breakout season where Robertson played 56 games, scoring 14 goals and 27 points, he feels frustrated with his limited role and ice time, averaging just over 11 minutes per game. This lack of opportunity has led him to request a trade, a request that has not been resolved as quickly as Robertson had hoped. According to recent reports, Robertson is still training and waiting for a move, but progress has been slow. Even though there could be opportunities for him in Toronto, especially with the team undergoing changes and left-wing spots opening up, Robertson seems determined to seek a fresh start elsewhere. Fans and analysts alike are now questioning whether Toronto will trade him before the season starts, or if Robertson will be forced to stay and tough it out for another year. The situation remains a key storyline as the season approaches, and fans are eager to see if the Leafs will honor Robertson's request or if they'll keep him in a limited role. What do you think, Leafs fans? Should the team grant his trade request? Or is there still hope for Robertson in a Leafs uniform? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for all the latest Leafs news.